a big case in the federal court today. There was a big defamation trial, and I wanted to update you on that because it was very interesting, because it started out with there were several parties joined together, and only one party or two parties remain. The rest have settled. So it was announced this morning that Mr. Lehrmann had settled with the ABC. So let's have a look at the file here. So there's a court file. There were several different matters here. There was Bruce Lehrnann versus Channel 10 and Lisa Wilkinson versus the Bruce Lehrnann and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Bruce Lehrnann versus News Life Media Proprietary Limited, and that first one was discontinued. Okay, the first one was discontinued. Where did it all go? Can you believe this? First one was discontinued. The second one was settled today. It was announced that there had been an agreement with the ABC today for settlement. And where did it go? And all that's remaining is Network 10 and Lisa Wilkinson. So, and that's what's really interesting about this, is that it's still very active. So let's just have a look at the media articles, because it was interesting, because I watched the live stream and it was actually a court today. It was standing room only. It was on the YouTube channel as well, but there is talk that they want to control that, because they were saying that anyone could do anything with it. So we've got here Network 10 utterly destroyed his reputation. He settled his ABC case. He took the stand. Yes, he did take the stand today. Arrived alone and took a seat in the front rows behind his lawyers. So he just sat behind there. They're saying that was, I don't know whether Lisa Wilkinson was there. I couldn't see her there, to be honest with you. So he settled. So it began with a settlement with the ABC. Now, they sued here. He was suing over a 2022 National Press Club speech by Brittany Higgins. So they agreed to settle. We don't know what's in the agreement, but it says the proceedings have been settled on a mutually acceptable, confidential terms without admission of liability. So he sued over the coverage of the allegations. Allegations. Now he's saying that they that because they had her on the National Press Club, that they were allowing her to defame him. I don't know, but there's been no adverse findings at this stage. The criminal case collapsed after juror misconduct, but they abandoned a retrial. This is a picture of Lisa Wilkinson arriving on the first day of her trial, on the first day of defamation trial. So he agreed to settle action with the ABC, but his action against Network 10 and Lisa Wilkinson continued. Our client comes here seeking vindication for the defamation that has utterly destroyed him. So it's regardless of the thing, is under the law, you've got a presumption of innocence. And look, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, and I wouldn't dare speculate whether he is or not guilty. The other there's two interesting segues some other couple of things we have to discuss about this is that Lisa Wilkinson is also suing Network 10 separately over her legal costs. Now, one of the things the judge pointed out today was that he said it was unusual for there to be two sets of lawyers defending an action. Usually they band together. Now, Network News Limited and the ABC and Channel 10 all shared the same barrister. They had different lawyers, but they all had the same instructing barrister because it makes sense to have one person handle the case and on behalf of all the entities, and that way the costs is shared, and that's seems to be a really good way to go. Lisa Wilkinson retained her own lawyer, own legal team, and has her own barrister acting for her. So while Channel 10 said that they were prepared to pay her legal costs, they said it was what was reasonable, and they're questioning whether the $700,000 bill for 6 months of work is reasonable. Now, Network 10 tried to restrict the live stream because it is live stream. It is being live streamed on YouTube, and Network 10 wanted it restricted to journalists, and you had to apply to access the live stream. But Justice Lee said the orders proposed by Network 10 assume the worst. Mr. Lehrmann was very happy for it to be live streamed and said in the interest of fairness, he felt that he had nothing to hide. So therefore, he wanted it there. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my computer here, and I'm so sorry. This is just really annoying me. Really is. I don't know. My computer has not been working my computer's not, which is why I haven't really been doing much, to be honest with you, for this reason, because it's just doing my head in. So yes, and the court ruled that it was a public interest matter, and therefore, as every other public interest matter is streamed, then this one should be streamed as well. The issue with Mr. So there was an article on the project where everybody knew who was being talked about, and that's what Lisa Wilkinson is actually being sued for. That project under speech. Now, this is just speculation on my part, and I'm not really one to speculate. But the reason why it is likely that Lisa Wilkinson didn't want Channel 10's counsel is because after the Logie speech where she won the Logie and she praised Brittany Higgins, and it was very controversial. The Dr. Collins, who is also the president of the Bar Association, was asked to comment whether it could be deemed defamatory, and he said it possibly could be, and he thought that it should have been worded slightly better. So whether she did not want him defending her because he criticised her, I don't know. But His Honour has also said today that just because there's the two of them, they've got to be conscious of time, and he's not going to let them tag team a potential cross-examination. You know, they've got to still bear in mind that court time is precious, and just because there's two of them, they're going to have to work together. So he's laid that straight out on the table. So as I said, this will say they've got 16 days to file the discontinuance. Otherwise, it's back to active again. Essentially, is what the judge ruled today. I don't think we've got any orders, but it's so we're in the trial stage. So tomorrow, Bruce Lehrmann's about to get back onto the stand again. Now, Channel 10 saying that it's qualified privilege. I don't know. Normally, when you say that you are, they're saying that it's correct. So this is the hearing here. It means that there's enough truth in it to be able to be assumed that the rest of it's correct. The other thing is that they'll be saying, well, Brittany Higgins' version of events. How do you prove who is actually right? Allegations was that there was drinks bought and they had Mr. Lehrmann's bank account details and everything, showing that it's going to be really messy, and I don't know whether it's all going to be worth it, but it's definitely going to be a long. I think it's going to be a long, drawn out trial, in my opinion. It could get really messy. Yeah, I just don't. Whether they had somebody from Parliament, from the government today to say that when they heard the reports, they thought of him, but it was not the fact. It's really crazy. People that knew him thought it may have been him. People that didn't know him thought it couldn't believe it, he would do something like that. So it's just really interesting about that. He's maintaining his innocence. However, his lawyers said that even by the time of broadcast, it was notorious in Parliament House and elsewhere that Mr. Lehrmann was the person alleged to have assaulted Ms. Higgins. So they want Channel 10 to pay $235,000 to apologise and remove stories. They said to defame him. So they want to seek to establish the reporting was true and also rely on the defence of qualified privilege. In its submissions, Network 10 says it has a duty to publish the matter. So this is where reporting is really comes down to it, because see, here's the thing. He argued that the former national press gave gravacious and crazy assertions by Miss Higgins. We know that the National Press Club is a forum. I have mixed feelings about this because the Australian Broadcasting Corporation is a public broadcaster, and if there's any place that you can have an opinion, it should be on the public broadcast. If Mr. Lehrmann had been given the opportunity to speak at the National Press Club, would he still be complaining? The National Press Club is there, I think, sometimes to start these debates and have these discussions and get people talking about issues that need to be spoken about. And I don't think sanctioning or censoring stuff at the press club is actually the way to go. So I'm really disappointed that that is occurring, that you can't talk about anything on the national broadcaster. So they're saying that Brittany Higgins may be called to testify. Lisa Wilkinson will be testifying. It's going to last 4 weeks. It's going to last 4 weeks. So as I said, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. I'll try and keep my eye out on things. And so that's the trial, the defamation trial that started today, and everyone's been put on notice that we've got to be careful about what we say. But as I said, all the court documents are there. They're numerous, um, for all of them. And look, it's really interesting because they've just put in to the files here. There's like Kangaroo Court of Australia article, Kangaroo Court of Australia article, True Crime News Weekly article, News.com article. And then these exhibits down here are newspaper articles. So they've gone through and got lots of different stuff. I'm interested to see what this one is. I think I read this one. It was a very interesting article, actually. Um, and I don't, I'm not here to. It's not about whether he did it or not. It's about the reporting. How was the reporting done? You can report that somebody has been charged or it's alleged that someone has done something, but if you then start turning public opinion against that person, I think that's where we get to the grey line, the grey area. Now, it needs to be said that there is an investigation around Mr. Lehrmann again in Queensland. Initially, they got to suppress that name. Now that he's come out as a person of interest or is alleged to have done some other stuff. That's right. Unmasked for the first time in 2 years. Met the Liberal Party toff at the centre of the alleged Parliament House security breach, which left a woman traumatised. So this is one of the exhibits. And it just says, according to the story. So, yeah. So that has made it in as an exhibit into this. So that's at news.com. Yeah. So anyway, I know that this seems to be a little bit all over the place, but it is a little bit all over the place because you've got settlement continuing. And then you've got the little bit of Lisa Wilkinson and Channel 10. Channel 10 saying we're happy to pay, but we want to see what we're paying for. $700,000 for a lawyer for 6 months is a bit extreme. We did offer to pay. You could have joined with our lawyer and we would have paid. The other thing is that they're saying the Supreme Court of New South Wales is not the correct forum. That should be in the federal court because all the other matters relating to this are in the federal court. So there's lots going on here. There's all these little parties at play. But anyway, that's where we are at the moment. So I want to thank you for watching and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.